Welcome to Boulder City City Council. Appreciate everybody being here and tuning in. Madam City Clerk, posting and roll call, please.
Yes, thank you. All members of council are present, and the agenda was posted in accordance with Nevada open meeting law.
Thank you. We'd like to start with the invocation delivered by Pastor Deborah Downs of the Christian Center Foursquare Gospel Church. If y'all may arise and then stay arisen for the Pledge of Allegiance thereafter.
Please join me in prayer. God of all time, you see all that was, all that is, and all that will be. Nothing is new to you. You guide every minute, every hour. All rests in the palm of your hand. And what are we that you would even spend a second on us? Yet you see fit to make all things new in and for us. We confess our preoccupation with the old things, things of the past, things best left behind, the things that pull us away from what you would have for us. And with this confession, we look to what is ahead. Guide our hearts and our minds as we envision the future. We have entered a new year. New experiences await, new adventures flavor our separate lives. What manner of love is this that we should be so favored? Newness is your gift to us. You are doing a new thing right now. It is springing up. We perceive it. You are making a way in the wilderness and streams in the desert. Give us a sense of urgency to act upon the good you have planned for us. Give us cause to pause on matters over which we ought to deliberate. Give us wisdom and discernment to know the difference. Above all, give us your peace. We invite you into the proceedings of this evening, calm our minds and quiet our hearts so that we might hear clearly from you and know the new things you have in store for us. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Pastor Downs. Now join with us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We now have administration of oath of office. Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Greg Chesapeake, we're acting fire chief. So we have one swearing in tonight with our newest member, paramedic firefighter Colton Doty. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Colton Doty,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support, protect, and defend
to support,
protect,
and defend
the Constitution and government
the Constitution and government
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and government
and government
of the state of Nevada
of the state of Nevada
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
whether domestic or foreign,
whether domestic or foreign,
and will bear true faith,
and will bear true faith,
allegiance, and loyalty
allegiance, and loyalty
to the same.
to the same.
Any ordinance,
Any ordinance,
resolution,
resolution,
or law of any state
or law of any state
notwithstanding,
notwithstanding,
and will well and faithfully
and will well and faithfully
perform all of the duties
perform all of the duties
of the office of firefighter
of the office of firefighter
on which I am about to enter.
in which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Under the pains and penalties
Under the pains and penalties
of perjury.
perjury.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And his dad's going to do his pinning here real quick as well.
Going in his chest.
This may be appropriate to have all the appropriately related by vocation and city council to have a photo op.
Hey, guys. The mayor says John.
Okay, it took about 30.
Thank you.
We will now open the agenda for public comment. Anyone who has anything to add pertaining to the agenda today, welcome to come forward and share with us, and anyone on the phone line, Madam City Clerk. Okay.
Okay. I'm Pam Triolo. I'm here to thank Gary for all the work, Gary Poindexter, for all the work he's done. He occasionally comes and meets with our little group, and when we walked Elman Buchanan with him, and he has showed us what he's going to be doing, and we've showed him a few things. We walked across the street, and we had people with different disabilities, and he listened, and we really appreciate that. And so now I can get my little spiel in that this is why a working group would be really necessary in this town, because we can give the viewpoint of, we have caretakers, we have disabled that are working informally, and Gary is kind enough to work with us. That was, I know you were given our 5 recommendations when we were a task force, and number 2 said to have an ongoing working group, and we hope that we can get one before you guys pretty soon, and you approve it.
Thank you. Anyone wanting to call in, 702-589-9629.
Okay. Good evening, I'm Cindy Swanson. I live at 535 Birch Street. And again, like Pam said, we are really thankful for a city staff administrator like Gary Poindexter. He has been willing to listen to us. As you know, I'm blind, and Hershey gets me around, but a lot of times it's really challenging if the community is not accessible. And oftentimes, even with Hershey, my Wonder Dog, and my cane, it becomes really challenging. So we're really thankful for a staff person like Gary, and I guess in secret we'd like to say give the guy a raise. But he is. But the point that I'd like to make is Gary is a living example to the staff that you have here, and while it's a dedicated staff, I think that because Boulder City has so many issues with accessibility, that it just would make sense if we had some kind of citizens advisory forum. And I thank you all for your good work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charm McElry, and I'm here specifically tonight to join the current list of residents in Boulder City that are moving toward the committed intention of making our city more accessible to the disabled citizens who live here. Thanks to Gary Poindexter, First time. By leading the way for city officials to listen to our citizens and their concerns for accessibility. It is so important for the residents to know that their voices are being heard. One area I think might be updated, I tried this today just to get a feel for an area of getting to know more about disabilities. I called the City Hall today to find out about transportation. And a very nice young lady answered, and I asked her if we have accessibility around town, and she mentioned some of the places she did, but she also said, I think the RTC has availability. So I called RTC, and they said, yes, we do transfer disabled people around, but unfortunately, we don't service Boulder City. So as far as getting to, and I prefaced it by saying, I have a woman who's moving to town. There's a good chance that she will. And she has doctor's appointments in Las Vegas. Would she be able to get from Boulder City to Las Vegas? And that's when she said, we don't service. The other one they gave me, of course, was Silver Rider, which is fantastic. They do have all the capabilities and all of that, but they only service Boulder City, my understanding. So the last one I called was Lend a Hand, and they were very knowledgeable, and it was all great. But I had to go there myself instead of just asking on the first call as though I didn't live here or didn't know anything about it. So that was a little confusing for me, and then to find out that one of the references doesn't even serve Boulder City. So so that was my experience today, and I really have just joined this group, but I've got to tell you, I have had no disabilities in my family, nothing personally. One friend that was in a wheelchair, but in the short time that I've been with these folks that are really going for it, I can't believe how much we need to do. And it's not big stuff. I mean, there obviously are a lot of things that could be done, but it's little things around the city. And as Cindy was saying, I hope we can get a committee together and Pat, and get the voices going, the communication between City Council and our representatives here in the city. And hopefully that will take care of more accessibility for all the disabled. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else here?
Hello, I'm Patrick Quam, and I live on Dorothy in Boulder City. I'd like to make a comment about item 15, about the lease for Boulder Rifle and Pistol. I'd like to thank Mike Bassini and the board, some are here, and City Council for getting together and coming up with a workable plan. I think it's awesome to be able to extend out that far and do some awesome things for Boulder City. And I think you should vote, it should be a 5-0 to pass this lease, and we'd be thankful. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Anyone on the phone line, Madam City Clerk? Okay. Anyone else here? Go ahead.
How do I turn? It shows it's on, but it's not working. Hello? Hello? It shows it's on, but it's not working.
On? Oh, hello. No.
Hello. Sorry. My name is Charabelle Lobb. I'm here to show my support to Gary Poindexter and to thank him for all of his help that he's been giving for those of us with disabilities here in Boulder City. There was a point in time where one of the sidewalks down Buchanan had a major pothole in it. It wasn't even just a crack, it was more than a foot wide pothole. So I wasn't able to get up and down the street safely, and I emailed the city council about it, and I emailed multiple people about it, and Gary Poindexter was the only one who returned my emails and actually asked me if I would be willing to communicate going forward. Unfortunately, I got sick, so I wasn't able to reach out at that time, but He has been so helpful with that and so many other things, as everyone has said. And I just hope that he can continue to serve as an inspiration for Boulder City, and that more people can hopefully start to take after him in having an interest in all of the residents of Boulder City, not just those who are able-bodied. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone here like to come forward or have the microphone? If you want to call in, 702-589-9629. No one on the phone lines and no one here coming forward. We'll close public comment and go to approval of the regular agenda. Madam City Clerk.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council. I'd like to request that item number 14 be removed from the agenda. This was at the request of the applicant. And would also like to ask that item number 15 be considered right after item number 10. Both items are related to Boulder City Rifle and Pistol.
Is there a motion to approve such?
I'll make a motion. Excuse me.
I'll second it.
I'm not done yet.
Oh.
To approve the regular agenda, removing item 14 and moving item 15 to immediately follow number 10. Now I'm done.
Okay, now I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, unanimous. And then we need approval of the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Second that.
Thank you, it is unanimous. I take it.
Second.
Thank you.
For the record, we were discussing earlier that just because a person seconds something doesn't mean they have to vote for it. Does that clarify what you
But
did vote for the consent
I
agenda?
did, sir, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. And that brings us to, having done the consent agenda, to the regular agenda, number 7. Speaking of courageous, wonderful, thoughtful, courteous, kind people.
Cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, whatever.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for all the nice comments. Before I move on, let's see, there we go. Before I move on, I'd like to thank Bill Bruniga for this, allowing us to utilize this wonderful picture that captures the essence and historic downtown and the history of Boulder City. Bill and I went out at 5 a.m. and I got to help him with the lighting. It turned out pretty cool, so I would like to thank him and give him credit for that. What is Public Works and why is it important to the city of Boulder? So Public Works ensures that the infrastructure critical to everyday life is well maintained, safe, and capable of meeting the needs of residents, businesses, and visitors. By providing services, Public Works plays a foundational role in enhancing public health, safety, and quality of life. We're fortunate to have access to multiple funding sources through local, state, and federal agencies. These agencies help fund our city projects with little or no impact to our city's budget. These include Redevelopment Agency, Capital Improvement Plan. By the way, thank you, council and residents, for approving that. Regional Transportation Commission, Clark County Regional Flood Control, and Historic Preservation Office. I remember to click this. This slide, we got, this is in 2024, we had externally funded projects. We had 8 RTC funded, 3 regional flood control, and 1 SHPO funded project, 3 RDA, and 11 ARPA funded projects. We've been very busy. So part of the RTC funding, this gives you an idea of some we've completed, some are in design, some are getting ready to begin construction. Our total contracts that was approved, our total end contract was a little over $18 million. We've spent just shy of 8 million, and we have a remaining of a little over 10 million, which we're getting ready to start. Some are getting ready to begin construction soon. You'll see a lot of projects coming up. We got the 12 kV coming up. That was RDA. That's coming up March 3rd. That's Nevada Way. The pickleball March 3rd. Notice to proceed is next week for the 12 kV. They're still waiting on some material, but they'll be starting soon. Clark County Regional Flood Control. Normally, so we usually get $500,000 approved. We did ask for additional $418,000. We have shifted our focus from new to maintaining our current infrastructure. We also have 2 design projects that are funded. Last year, we were starting design. It was called Avenue I. We have relocated it to Avenue G, and so we're coming through. I believe we have our 90% plans on that, and then the Wells levee improvements. So this slide is showing an overall picture of the different types of projects that Public Works is involved with. The red check marks are ones that we've completed. Others are in design, progress, getting ready to start construction, as I mentioned on a few of them. I just wanted to highlight that Public Works has something to do with almost, every department. And so I highlighted a few on so we have ADA upgrades, pavement preservation, municipal golf course irrigation, fire department training and storage facilities, cemetery expansion, grading design, pickleball, police department remodel, a whole list more there. We enjoy it. We have a lot going on. It's different every week. Coming from the maintenance side of Public Works, I found there's a whole lot more moving parts, and I have been involved with projects, but not to this extent, and we have a great team that's really helping us move forward. The next slide is I want to highlight some of the ADA projects we've completed so far with suggestions. But our goal is to create a fully accessible city by eliminating barriers and ensuring public spaces, services, infrastructure are inclusive for individuals of all abilities. So this slide shows a few of the ones we've worked on. We still have a few more. But also, I'm excited to announce we received an additional $350,000 from RTC. They asked if we had a project shovel ready. We did. We had a project that was on the shelf, ready to roll, and that was Elman Buchanan. After meeting with this great group, they walked me through our in-house design. Our CAD designer did put it together, and we were ready to go. They issued that. It will go February 15th to RTC for final approval. So I'm very excited to get that started. So teamwork and collaboration made this year's holiday decorating contest fun and rewarding. By combining ideas and talents, our Public Works Department was able to create something magical. Winning became more than a goal. It was a celebration of creativity and shared effort. But I'd also like to add that we wish the best to the clerk's office to make it to the nice list next year. So we're all rooting for you. But the plan did come from the clerk's office, the holiday decorating, and I tell you, team, collaboration, networking, it was amazing. It was great. So maybe we will put you on the nice list. So I did have to throw that one in there just to have a little fun on that. So Public Works Department is powered by a team of 38 dedicated employees who bring expertise and commitment across a range of critical disciplines, from engineering, project management to operation, landscaping, streets, facility maintenance, fleet services, and GIS. These professionals work tirelessly to ensure the city's infrastructure and public spaces are safe, efficient, and well-maintained. Everything we do, and I know I get a lot of thank yous, and I appreciate that. My team is amazing, and they're the ones that help make this happen also. They've been a great support. I've been in this position for 8 months. They've supported me for the last 27 years, and this last 8 months, including the new position, they continue to support, and they've been amazing. I do have Shannon Ryman, Jim Keene, and Dave Stanton here to support me. I appreciate you being here. So I'll just key in on a few things with facility maintenance, each division. They ensure the safety, functionality, efficiency throughout our buildings, from this council chamber to airport hangars to you name it, they're involved in it, from plumbing, HVAC. We rely on them on a daily basis, and I appreciate every effort, each one of these divisions. Landscape maintenance, turf management, water conservation. We just did the South Escalante. We're preparing for the North Escalante, and we got many other projects around town to beautify streetscapes. And tell you that team, they know the management of it. It's not just going out, quick maintenance. They've educated themselves. They're very, very well versed in landscaping and turf management. Our streets division, maintaining right-of-way is essential to safe and accessible public spaces. We've had contractors and staff, we're changing out concrete, trip hazards, flood control, concrete, asphalt, and the cemetery. We do services out there. So you take them out of the construction field and you go down, you put them in a very sensitive situation down there, and they're performing services. So our engineering and project management are essential for maintaining our infrastructure. Effective project management ensures these projects complete on time, within budget, and quality standards. I forgot to click. All right. I wanted to focus on a few of the major projects. On the top left is the Oasis Park. We had received a resident C-Click Fix asking about, hey, there's no connectivity. And I grew up in this neighborhood. And I'm like, you know what, she's right. And so our design team went together and then started looking at what do we have to do here to make it get the connectivity, but also meet ADA accessibility. So we did meander it up into the trees. So we do plan on putting a bench up there. But that connected Sandra, last house on Sandra, to Esther Drive. Before, you had to either cross the road and then cross again when you got around the corner. So this project turned out really nice. There is plans to put shrubs, trees, but we have to do some irrigation improvements first. Top right is Museum Road, which is now open. They are doing some landscaping still, some electrical improvements, but the road is open. The state is using that to get to their site, their staging site. The bottom left is the St. Jude's outfall. With the improvements they did down there, we had to do some improvements on flood control. And our Eagle Wall, that represents Boulder City Eagles and their state championships. As a former Eagle, I was very proud of being part of this. So, our department stats. So we processed 270 permits, 422 plan reviews, 341 project and permit inspections, 642 C-Click fixes. Overall, there was quite a bit of C-Click fixes, but this was just public works alone. And 1,853 work orders that came through the divisions. This does not include routine maintenance. They're very busy. Our reimbursements process through partner agencies has been just over $7 million in 2024. Shannon submits these for reimbursement on a quarterly basis. So as I mentioned earlier, I think we've spent $10 million. I'd have to go back, but so right now we're still submitting for reimbursements, and that will continue on. We've had one more application came in today for Adopt a Streetscape, so we have 12 Adopt Streetscape programs. This, when we started this up a few months back, it took off. We had a lot of interest. We put signs up. We have vests that say Adopt a Streetscape on the back. We also have an Adopt a Park program. So we've had families that have reached out. They're going, hey, we want to adopt a streetscape. Well, we're going to use our family, so we're veering them towards the Adopt a Park program, so we don't have kids out in the middle of the road. And next part down is in 2024, we sold 41 cemetery lots, and we're continuing to work on the grading plan for the expansion of the land. And then I'd like to mention the private project review. So my predecessor, Jamie, and he joined us tonight, created the private project coordination group. This group meets every 2 weeks and consists of those who have the authority to solve perpetual problems that are keeping projects from moving forward. Well, since this introduction of the private project coordination group, we've had success in meeting the needs of developers, contracts, residents to keep these projects moving forward. It's been very successful, and we'd like to continue that. And recently, we have filled our project manager position with Greg Lindsay. Greg is, I don't think he was able to make it tonight. Oh, Greg? Hey, thank you. He's in the back there. So that we were able to fill our last position that was open, and Greg has been great. He came in with lots of experience, and we look forward to all these projects getting started, and he'll be out there overseeing them. So on this, I belong to I'm on the technical advisory committee meeting, the executive advisory. I've been an APWA member for 20 plus years, and we have a commitment to keep going on our ADA outreach. We're committed to delivering exceptional public service through foundation of strong work ethic, unwavering morals, and dedication to improving our community we serve. We care deeply for the people we serve, prioritizing their needs and well-being in every project. It is a true honor to serve as the Director of Public Works. As I shared with Councilmember Walton yesterday, I believe the Public Works Department stands as the linchpin of the organization's vital operations. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Go ahead.
I just have a question and then a comment. One was about the cemetery. You said you sold, there was 41 lots this year sold. Do we know what capacity is and if we're reaching?
Yes, so we're looking about 6.5 to 7 years. So we're averaging anywhere from 40 to 45. So we've been putting a plan together. I've moved some full lots to cremation lots because we wouldn't have made it past 3 years with the amount we were selling. So we've had to move some adjustments. We're actually added some in Section I, additional cremations, so we can balance out and get us on. So we took the average and we added what we could to average out to get us about 6.5 to 7 years.
Okay, do we have any expansion room or?
Yes, yeah, we have a lot of room. We can acres going out. We could actually double the size of the cemetery right now.
Okay.
And so we've been looking at how many we have and whether we do also a wall. But to keep in mind too, there's also, 1,100 reserved lots. Don't hold me on that number. Been a few months since I've looked at it, but we have a lot of reserved lots. But these are just based on, we have 6.5 years of lots that we'll be able to sell. So that's where that number comes in. You look at it, we have a lot of open, but it's not necessarily, we just not have any to sell if we do not do an expansion.
And reserved meaning they've already paid for it?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I just have to say thank you for everything that you're doing, and I think it's evident by our ADA representatives coming in and talking about your willingness to go above and beyond. And I know that it's not just you. You set precedents at the top, which then bleeds through to your entire organization, for which I'm extremely grateful. You do touch a lot of aspects of Boulder City lives. And I think that's part, for me, of what makes me happy to sit here is that the people who work here kind of make us look good in a lot of ways. And I know that when I asked you, you truly did care and did want to go out and you did want to do that and look at it. And I think that's a genuine response to concerns. And I'm very appreciative of that and all that you guys do. Thank you so very much. And the funding that's come in to help us out, I see that you guys are proactive and working hard. I couldn't even believe what I just saw here. Every time one of these groups comes in and talks about what you do, so I think this is vital, so we truly understand what is going on at the city. What are these people doing? A lot.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the support.
I too want to say thank you very much. I think customer service is so important, and when you're out and about, that's important to the citizens of Boulder City. And I think the fact that you represent customer service so well, and it filters down through everybody that way. And I know that you've listened to me in some of my little crazy ideas, but you always come up with solutions, and that I like too. Maybe something doesn't work this way, but it could work this way. So it lets me know that you did listen to what I said, and so I'm sure that everybody out there feels the same way. So I want to say thank you so much, and thank you to the team. I think all of us are proud to live in Boulder City. We drive around town, it looks beautiful. I can't think of a place that looks bad, except when the wind blows, maybe then, a little bit, but other than that, it's just a beautiful city, and I'm so proud and blessed to be in this town, and you make that part of the whole experience, and thank you very much, and thank you for having the positive customer service attitude. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Gary. Thank you for your service to the city. It does make us all look good, and me being a newbie, I've gotten a lot of calls, and when I call you and Michael, you've answered right away, and the residents are thankful for that. It's so often we hear negative about things going wrong, but there's a lot that goes right, and it does start with your department, and I thank you. I do have 2 questions. One, just clarification, you were talking about the municipal cemetery, not the VA, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. And then the other one, the Adopt a Street program. One is you have to have a 501c3, and you said something about the families. Is that just families and you don't have a 501c3 for the park?
The Adopt a Streetscape is due to the fact that it's adjacent to some of our roadways. We had in there that it's 18 and over. So the adopted parks do not require that that it's 18 and over.
Okay, so neither one requires being a nonprofit?
No, we've had individual families. Actually, I have a list of, if okay to read that. I did have so we have 12 that have applied. The 12th we have not approved yet. I'll explain that in a minute. But we had Diane Robbins, the Kirk family, Bill Bruniga Photography, Linda O'Leary, Boulder City Critter Sitter, Boulder Dam Credit Union, Urban Jungle, Faith Christian Church, Sylvia Hawksley, Jack Rotoli, Linda Hand, which we haven't assigned a road yet, and then Larry Hamilton. They want to adopt the new Railroad Museum Road. So we haven't approved it yet, and they're aware of that until everything was complete. And that, my understanding, it's Operation Lifesaver, and they work with the railroad on a regular basis, and that was appropriate. So we'd like to thank those groups that are helping preserve and take care of our streetscapes.
Thank you for reading those names. That's really cool. Critter Sitter, she posted on Facebook everywhere and showed the picture. She was so proud of it. So thank you again what you do, and your staff as well.
And the signs, I got to say something about signs.
Of course.
Twin Shannon and Carly, they did an amazing job. I tasked them with coming up with a catchy sign that looks clean, looks good, and represents us, and that's what they came up with. So
Very nice.
turned out amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other accolades?
Well, amen to those. What are challenges that we have in the Public Works Department and accomplishing some of the projects that are either underway or that need to be underway and aren't, or any other challenges that we need to be aware of and be mindful of?
So what we've run into is cost of not just the third-party consultant, but Jim does a wonderful job, but he's one man. And then we have one CAD designer. So we do use third party quite a bit. And when we get those pricing, we got to make sure we're staying within budget. On top of that, material has been our other issue we've run into. Some parts are 8 to 12 weeks out. So we're trying to get ahead of the game, whether we're ordering the parts, and then it'll be ready for when the contractor starts. We're doing a lot of water meter services. Parts aren't available. So we have the funding, but we can't get it, and the contractor can't get it right away. So we're trying to change some things. We're planning ahead. The other part is funding. We're with the Fry 2, if that doesn't get passed, that's going to be some concerns in our after 2026. If we're going to continue to get funding like we do from RTC. So that would be a future concern that we're looking at right now is what do we need to put in place? What do we need to request to continue to maintain our roads and our right-of-ways?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thanks, Gary. That brings us to number 8 on our agenda, that I need an introduction of bill number 2073. Can someone move for introduction?
I will introduce Bill 2073 and waive the reading except for title, please.
Thank you. Bill number 2073, an ordinance of the City of Boulder City, Nevada, approving agreement number 97-438H, amending and restating the lease agreement between the City of Boulder City and San Diego Gas and Electric to extend the term of the agreement 20 years, add hydrogen, combustion energy generation, and energy storage as permitted use, and update and clarify terms. This matter will be considered at the February 11th, 2025 City Council meeting.
Thank you. Brings us to number 9 on our agenda, consideration of bill number 2068.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Brock Armitrout. I'm your contracts and real estate manager for the city, and I handle all of the city's revenue contracts as well as all of our city land matters. This is consideration of bill number 2068, an ordinance of Boulder City to approve agreement 25-2112, which would authorize the conveyance of real property or land that Boulder City has located at 1502 Buchanan Boulevard to the Board of Regents of the Nevada System of Higher Education for a public purpose without charge. In this case, is the Desert Research Institute, or DRI, which is one of the many components of the Board of Regents. This is a parcel of land, approximately 0.65 acres. It's up on the screen. It's located immediately to the rear of the DRI research facility along Buchanan. This has been before the City Council roughly a year ago, when at that time you had asked city staff to have the property rezoned to government zoning, and then also that we limit the height of any structure within that area upon transfer to 15 feet or 1 story, whichever is less. The city has prepared a deed restriction that does limit it to that height restriction, as well as that the land be used for a public purpose, and if not, it be returned back to Boulder City at the end.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I move to approve bill number 2068.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Brings us to number 10, consideration of bill number 2069.
Again, Brock Armitrout for the record. This is Bill 2069 to approve agreement number 00-618C between the City of Boulder City and the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club, which would amend the lease to provide an additional 20-year period, to extend the existing option period to a 20-year period with an additional 20-year option period at the end, provided that they obtain a 501c3 designation. For history, the Rifle and Pistol Club has operated within Boulder City since the 1960s, and we believe well before that, once the federal government established a presence in the 1930s. They have the most current lease was adopted in 2000 and then amended most recently in 2021 to renew it with an additional 10-year period at the end. We have since conversed with them and decided to recommend that that be extended to a 20-year extension at the end, beginning in 2031 with an additional 20-year period upon the expiration of that, provided they obtain the 501c3 designation. Any questions?
Any questions? We have disclosures.
Go ahead, Denise.
So I would like to disclose the pursuit to NRS. Are we on 28-1A or 2069 or 7917? I would like to disclose NRS 28A that I'm a member of the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club, but I have been advised by the city attorney that this matter would not impact the judgment of a reasonable person in my position as a general member and do not serve on the board of the Rifle and Pistol Club.
Thank you.
I too would like to disclose pursuant to NRS 281A that I am a member of the Boulder City Rifle and Pistol Club, but I have been advised by the city attorney that this matter would not impact the judgment of a reasonable person in my position as I am a general member and do not serve on the board.
Thank you.
And I disclose the exact same as the other two.
Verbatim.
Is that fair enough? Would you like me to read it?
Yes.
Pursuant to NRS 281 Alpha, I would like to disclose that I am a member of the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club. However, I have been advised by our fantastic city attorney that you put that in there yourself, didn't you? That this matter would not impact the judgment of a somewhat reasonable person. You put that in there too. In my position as I am a general member and do not serve on the board.
So I don't have a disclosure. There we go. So having heard those disclosures, any questions?
We need 2 membership forms or
Oh, 2 member.
Mayor, I'll move to approve bill number 2069.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. It's unanimous. Thank you. And that brings us to number 15 that is similarly related for discussion at this point. And is that you again, Brock?
That's me again.
Okay.
I can disclose I am not a member. I am a guest of the Rifle and Pistol Club. Resolution 7919 is approving agreement number 25-2118, which grants a non-exclusive access easement to the Rifle and Pistol Club from the city of Boulder City. As we were reviewing the agreement, we realized that while they have access to the site since time began, there has not been that we can locate a formalized easement to grant that access. So this formalizes a non-exclusive access easement, which begins at Utah, just before the entrance to the city's landfill, up to the entrance to the facility. The agreement does require that they maintain have obligations to maintain the driveway. It is a private driveway, not a public street. They have asked that they be able to name the private driveway, which is agreeable to the city, and they may have some interesting names to suggest. They are here to answer any questions you may have if you have questions about the driveway. Otherwise, the floor is yours.
Mayor, I have a disclosure, please.
Go ahead.
I would like to disclose pursuant to NRS 281 Alpha that I'm a member of the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club and have been advised by the city attorney that this matter would not impact the judgment of a reasonable person in my position as I'm a general member and do not serve on the board.
I would like to disclose pursuant to NRS 281A that I am a member of the Boulder City Rifle and Pistol Club, but I have been advised by the city attorney that this matter would not impact the judgment of a reasonable person in my position as I am a general member and do not serve on the board.
and I would like to disclose pursuant NRS 28-1 Alpha that I am a member of the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club, but I have been advised by the city attorney that this matter would not impact the judgment of a reasonable person in my position, as I am a general member and do not serve on the board.
Thank you all. Any discussion on Resolution 7919?
Do we have a name for the street?
Yeah, that's my question, too.
I think it's Ashurst Way.
I believe it was Piscini Way. Mayor Mike Piscini, resident of Boulder City and the president of the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club. I'd like to introduce our board of directors behind me if I can have a moment.
Please.
Our vice president, Mr. Scott Leonard, if they could stand. Our treasurer, Mr. Fritz McDonald. Our secretary, Terry Warner. And our range administrator, Mr. Barry Lagan, are all here tonight. Before we go on, I would like to thank the acting city manager, the city manager, and your city attorney. Just outstanding cooperation, communication, Mayor. It was wonderful. It was a wonderful process. We appreciate it so much. And I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, because 2 years ago, you and I were having a... How did I do that? 2 years ago, you and I were having a conversation about the Rifle Pistol Club, and it was a little tense, but like you said, stay the course and everything works out, and here we are. We had our annual meeting this past Saturday night. Councilman Walton was there and spoke. Our 3 board of director members that were up for election ran unopposed. Our membership is very excited. They're very happy. Some were not very understandable about the price difference between the fees, but when we talked to them and explained that when you get a 71-year lease, or to 2071 for $1, that we could prepay that with $46, I think we should just bow our heads, say thank you, and sign the check. So we're very excited. I want to promise you that we're not going to name the road anything like "You pried out of my cold dead hands" or anything like that. Our board is going to get together and think of some names. I don't know the approval process or what we have to do. If we have to come back, if the city manager has the power to do that, we can certainly let all of you know when we come to a decision, and hopefully that won't take any further action. I do want to say something nice also about Gary Poindexter, because I felt like everybody has done that. And since he'll be the one putting up a sign for us at that intersection. We're very excited, Mayor. We're very excited to continue being a great partner. Today, we brought a check to the elementary school to sponsor Nevada Reading Week. So the Rifle Pistol Club is going to be a great partner and continue to be that. And we want to play our good role here in the city. We will be moving forward with the Family Safety Firearms Program, hopefully with the rec center. We want to make sure that we never have an accident with a child here in Boulder City and a firearm. We're all committed to that. So we're committed to the town, we're committed to the fun, and we hope that you guys will approve this as well. Any questions?
Any questions, Mr. Piscini?
I don't
No
have a
questions, but a
question.
comment.
I do have a comment.
I'll defer to the council member at the
Thank you.
east.
Just want to thank you, and Jim Cruz, he's not here, Patrick, and all the guys that really maintain the range down there. It's pristine. I've never seen one like that I've traveled the world. It really is nice facility. So thank you for what you do down there, that Boulder City residents now have priority when you do have your signups, and that's a neat thing, because I think last year you had like 200 sign up in one day.
We did. I do have some numbers here that I could share with you. In 2023, we had a Boulder City membership number of 493 members. That's 17% of our total membership. In 2025, we have 766 Boulder City resident members. That's now 25%. Part of our agreement in the lease was to open that up in November and welcome any other Boulder City residents. So we have done our best and extended that to other residents. We do receive calls, emails about becoming a member. When you're a club as we are, that's kind of
we're in the national spotlight. Everyone wants to come here. We just hosted the Industry Day at the Range for SHOT Show where we had 3,000 people out. So everyone loves the range, and we're super excited about the direction that we're going. We're super excited about the team that we have. We think we have a product that's second to none. And my goal this year is to make all of you make that that announcement. We need 100% membership on the city council. So I'll be making a couple of phone calls tomorrow, council people.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. And it really, I want to say, first of all, that the group that comprise the membership of the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club is very community-centric and community responsible. And we're grateful to the efforts that they do for outreach, both within Boulder City and, we have membership, 75% within the greater Clark County area. And so also the benefits could extend out there, as well as the members individually. And our board is a great example of that, and those who contribute to the various disciplines and the volunteers and the range, RSOs, range safety officers, and so on, individually are involved in the community in very positive ways and provide this asset to our community, the best possible circumstance that we could have down there. It's just phenomenal. And I want to point out, because there might be some hurt feelers, right, about Boulder City residents not paying the higher amount, if you will. But as has been discussed over the years, we're not taking advantage of or asking members who don't live in Boulder City to pay something that's not reasonable. Just because the land is in Boulder City and there should be an appreciable benefit to the residents of Boulder City, and therefore it's a discounted rate, which is fair and reasonable because of the open land that we have. And I made this comment the other day of all of the 136,000 acres that comprise Boulder City, about 12.5% of that is energy production, of which about 33% of our general fund budget comes. And so there is a benefit to our residents into the general fund and capital improvement projects from the rest of our open land, and it's fair and reasonable to expect that our residents would have a benefit by a reduced cost and participating in the Boulder Rifle and Pistol Club. And please, I hope that everybody who is within the sound of my voice that are participants there or have feelings about it can recognize that the amount that we ask those who don't live in Boulder City, the amount we ask them to pay is very fair and reasonable, and it's a phenomenal range, phenomenal club. And so I think it's great that we have it in Boulder City. I think it's great we get people coming from all over on a regular basis, Clark County, and then extend it out well beyond that, throughout the year. So thanks to the board for all that you do. Appreciate everybody and all that volunteer there and everything about it.
Is that a motion regarding Resolution 7919?
Yeah, I think this is part of the discussion, so I think that's seconded, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. City Clerk. Did we have a motion on that one already?
You are trying to make it.
That I'm making that resolution that we approve, number 7919.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Now discussion. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Thank you. It's unanimous. Appreciate it.
Mayor, on behalf of the Board of Directors and our 3,000 members, we'd like to thank all of you again and thank the city manager and the city attorney. We invite all of you to please come out. And we know this is, if I could take 10 more seconds, we know this is a difficult thing for some. Some feel differently about firearms than some of us do. But we'd ask you just to take a moment, take a day and come out and experience what we have to offer. There's a lot of safety, there's a lot of education that happens out there.
It's already passed.
Oh.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Pacini. He hasn't forgotten. Okay, Mr. City Manager. Item 16.
11.
Oh, no. 11. We have to go back and catch up, don't we?
Good evening, Mayor Hardy, members of the City Council. I am Michael Mays, your acting city manager and community development director. So, for the better part of a year, Mr. John Winston has sought the process for the annexation of approximately 4 acres located in the El Dorado Valley off of US Highway 95 for the purpose of bringing it into the community and developing it for 2 office warehouse buildings. And so the council has approved the steps involved in the annexation. The annexation occurred last year. This is the next step. This is property that is newly annexed into the community, and it needs to be added to the city's master plan and the city's zoning map with zoning designation. So, before you, you have required public hearing and Resolution 7918. Resolution 7918 would amend the city's master plan to designate manufacturing for this 4 acres. You can see on the screen again. Yep. As she's getting out, oh, there we go. You can see the parcel and its designation for manufacturing. The top image is its current designation, which is nothing because it was just recently annexed. And the second designation is for the manufacturing. You also have, for your consideration, Bill 2070, which would change the designation, which has no designation in our zoning, to CM commercial manufacturing. The Planning Commission considered both matters in December and unanimously recommended approval of both the master plan amendment and the zoning amendment. Just as a reminder that both the resolution and the bill consideration are subject to the findings within each, so we'd be looking for motions to approve with the findings contained therein. And again, it does require a public hearing. I can answer any questions, and Mr. Winston is also here to answer any questions.
Thank you. If we don't have any questions, let's open it up for a public hearing at this point. Anyone who would like to come forward and have anything to say about this, or call in at 702-589-9629. Seeing nobody coming forward and hearing nobody on the phone line, I am going to close the public hearing and hear Resolution 7918 to see what we would like to do.
Can we put those 2 together? No, they have to be done separately. I just move that Resolution 7918 be approved, subject to findings.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
I'll second it.
It's been
Did he do? I couldn't hear him back.
moved
Okay.
and seconded, and any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. It's passed unanimously. Then that brings us to consideration of bill number 2070, and we need a motion on that.
Move to approve Bill 2070 with findings, please.
And is there a second?
I'll second it.
And any discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Unanimously passed. Thank you. That brings us to number 12, ordinance of the city regarding bill number 2071.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, it's Brock Armentrout, your contracts real estate manager. This is to consider bill number 2071, which is to approve agreement number 22-1999B, which is a grant of easement and lease agreement between Boulder City and the Southern Nevada Water Authority. This agreement provides for an easement to construct a generation tie line between the future substation being built by SNWA adjacent to the Colorado River Commission transmission line, and the Boulder Flats Solar Project, some 5 miles south of there, right there at the mouth of Dutchman's Pass. This amendment amends the legal description to provide for slight widening of the easement as it approaches the substation, as well as for access to the Townsite Solar 2 project, which is located just south of the Knoll and west of US 95, south of Interstate 11. The generation tie line is under construction, if you're interested. I won't, well, it's exciting to me, probably not exciting to anyone else. But are there any questions?
Any questions? I'll accept the motion to approve bill number 2071.
Move to approve bill number 2071.
And,
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. It's passed unanimously. Thank you. And that brings us to 13, consideration of bill 2072.
Thank you, Mayor. Brock Harmon, try it again. This is to approve Agreement 25-2113 between the City of Boulder City and the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce Foundation, Inc., to authorize the conveyance of a 50-foot by 50-foot vacant parcel consisting of 2,500 square feet located approximately 98 Nevada Way from Boulder City to the Chamber of Commerce Foundation for civic or charitable purpose without consideration. As indicated up on the screen, this is a small parcel on top of a very small knoll at the former Nevada Welcome Center parcel there at the corner of Nevada Way and the truck route. The Chamber of Commerce would like to take ownership of the parcel for further use, to further develop their facility and improve amenities for visitors to the site. Quitclaim deed does have a restriction that it be continued to be used for a civic or charitable purpose. If not, it would revert back to Boulder City if that condition is not complied with.
Any questions? I would accept a motion.
Move to approve bill. Move to approve bill 2072.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. It's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. I thought he disappeared. All right, that brings us to number 16.
Good evening. Number 16 is two different resolutions reallocating ARPA funds. So the first one is for the municipal golf course water irrigation project. December 31st, 2024 was the deadline to have all ARPA funding spent or in contract. There was design delays with this contract, and so we're reallocating the funding to current capital improvement projects that are in contract. And then then in the future that the funding for those projects will move to the municipal golf project to keep it going. So there'll be no changes in projects, it's just changing the funding sources. And then the second resolution is similar. Some of our wastewater projects weren't in contract on time, so we're going to reallocate $570,720 from wastewater projects to water projects. And again, no projects will change. All the funding for that is staying in utilities. It's just changing funding sources.
I can't resist. On B, this isn't changing water to wine.
No.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or concerns?
No.
Go ahead.
Just the ability for us to be able to point out to the public that ARPA funds came, they have to be dedicated to where they're going to be spent by the end of 2024 and used by 26. We received 21 million in ARPA funds. Are we on target for spending all 21 million?
Every penny.
Okay. And, you know, not that we don't want to give something back,
No.
but if we can use it, I say, yes, let's use it. So I appreciate this. This looks good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, concerns? I would accept a motion first on Resolution 7920.
I move to pass Resolution 7920.
Is there a second?
I second it.
And any comments, discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. It's passed unanimously, and I would accept a motion on Resolution 7921.
I move to approve 7921.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. It's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Angela. And that brings us to number 17, Resolution 7922. Mr. Stubitz.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Joe Stubitz, your Utilities Director. The City of Boulder City receives more than half of its electricity from federal hydropower. However, this resource has declined from historic drought and reduced capacity due to lower lake elevations at Powell and Meade. The share of federal hydropower is dropping below 50%. Historically, the city has relied on market energy purchases to hedge the remaining resource needs of the community. Recently, market energy purchases have more than doubled in price, presenting economic volatility and uncertainty for the utility fund. The Utilities Department desires to pursue an additional power purchase agreement to further reduce the city's reliance on market energy purchases. Through the city's strategic partnerships with other consumer-owned utilities, the Utilities Department desires to enter into a subscription agreement with Arizona Electric Power Cooperative Incorporated, or EPCO, for 5 megawatts of utility-scale solar and 5 megawatts of battery storage. This subscription agreement is the first step and could eventually yield a future power purchase agreement that could reduce the city's reliance on market energy purchases. The total financial risk for the city is limited to its share of the total project capacity, which is 1.25%, or $18,743. This would come from the utility fund only if the project terminates before commercial operation. Ultimately, this is an opportunity to further diversify renewable energy sources for Boulder City and could also provide an opportunity for more favorable power purchase agreement rates. I stand for any questions if you have any.
Any questions? No. I would accept a motion.
I'll move to approve Resolution 7922.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 7922 say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. Unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that brings us to City Manager's report, claims paid report, and financial report.
Nothing unusual to report on either of the two reports.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. And hearing that, does anyone have any questions from the City Manager? I will now open public comment, second public comment that can be on anything. It does not have to be associated with the current agenda. And anybody who wants to come forward can do so, and then they can still call.
Mr. Mayor, County, City Council. My name is Paul Pate. I'm the Facilities Manager of Desert Research Institute out of Las Vegas. I want to pass on our thanks from President Echeria and the Yenchi Board of Regents for approving our request earlier. Thank you.
Thank you. We love succinct. Thank you.
I'm waiting for the leash law. Just a couple days ago, a lovely black Labrador came running up to me with his owner yelling at him to come back, but he didn't. And my dog is at a disadvantage because he's on a leash, so it's like he's cornered and this dog can run around him. Nothing happened, but we still really need a leash law. And I have to keep coming and sitting through these meetings the whole time. This one was fairly short, so I would appreciate it. I will always be here for the ADA, but I know a leash law is in the works, and I hope you do something on breeding too, because there's too many backyard breeders, and I don't want to see Boulder City end up to be a haven for backyard breeders. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can call in at 702-589-9629 for public comment, or anybody here in chambers can come forward and say something while somebody's waiting to call in. Yeah, even if they were associated with the Chamber of Commerce, they could come up and say something if they wanted to.
Jill Lagan with the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. I'm very grateful to be here this evening. Thank you very much for your consideration and for the ability for us to now go after some grants for some improvements to that particular location. We're looking to make it a dark skies viewing platform, and it will be ADA accessible because we want to be part of that accessibility program. So we're excited to be able to add to another tourism opportunity to also add to our dark skies preservation effort and tourism as well. And so thank you guys very much. We appreciate you.
Thank you. And anybody else here or want, and no one has called in at 702-589-9629. And hearing none on the phone line and no one else here, I will close public comment, go to City Council's report, and I will start down there.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to thank the residents of Boulder City, those that are here and those that are looking on TV, and those who will be viewing maybe down the road. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your calls. Thank you for your visits. I got to visit with the ADA group this week and a couple other residents on some issues that they had. And again, Gary and Mr. Mays, I was able to talk to them and they were handling most of them. We got some taken care of, few that are out there still to be taken care of, but they're minor. But I just want to thank the residents of Boulder City just to have a voice, just to use your voice to talk about any issues. That's why you elected us. That's why we're here. And I particularly just want to say thank you and continue to reach out via email, calling, come up to the mic here during city council meetings. We all appreciate that. I also want to thank those who came out this Saturday to pick up the wreaths from the Wreath Across America Day. We laid 14,000 wreaths and we picked up all of them. Plus, there was a couple other things that were out there. It was cold, but it was fun. People came from all over, Cox Cable, ROTC, Boy Scouts. So we had quite a group out there. And my heart is just so warm when Boulder City residents respond to the need, and you always do. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. And remember, I meet at the company store, 9 o'clock every Tuesday, rain or shine. Come on out and have a discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ashurst. Councilwoman Booth.
I just wanted to say thank you so much. I feel so blessed to be working with this great group of people that I work with here. And just that I live in Boulder City, and it seems like everybody's just so wonderful and open and gather together when somebody's in need. So I just want to say a big thank you to Boulder City tonight, and that I truly, truly appreciate you.
Thank you.
Just with the chamber being here, a huge thank you for what you do to help our community to be able to be a presence in this valley. And I also love the fact that you grew up here, so you have a sense of tradition and community, and that you bring that to this. I also wanted to thank the accessibility group. It's a bunch of different people, as we see with Boulder City Pistol and Rifle 2, that come in their little part that they're taking care of in Boulder City, and they come and they ask for these things. And then we have a great staff. We've been very fortunate, a receptive staff that I know I call a lot. I know you guys have just mentioned. And sometimes when I get emails, I may not respond right away because I don't know the answer, but I do know how to find the answer. So I am calling usually and getting the right information. So many hands are making this work and making Boulder City, where we live, a place where people want to come. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's like, oh, they're always like, oh, I wish I lived in Boulder City. And then I'd say, try it, because it is kind of a wonderful place to live. And it's all because of the people inside and outside. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just say amen to all that. I don't have anything to report. Thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you all. I appreciate the council that we have and what we do and where we go and who we deal with, and appreciate everyone being patient, sitting up there all alone in the state of the city and freezing almost. But we do indeed have a wonderful place. And with that, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.